Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am here today to do a 24-hour readathon and I am so excited for this. I haven't done one in a really long time. Any sort of readathon in a really long time it feels like, so I feel like this is long overdue and I'm excited to just be able to get through a whole bunch of books in this 24-hour period. So it is 4:57 and we're gonna aim to start this at 5. I know that's in 3 minutes, but I feel like it just works if we go 5 to 5, you know? So we're gonna try and do that, but I have my TBR here in front of me and we're just gonna go through it. What was that? We're just gonna go through it really quickly. So the first book I will be reading in this vlog is Starling House, and I've actually already started this. I've already started this one actually, and I am 191 pages through it, so I really don't have a lot left to go. I'm reading this for another vlog. I think the other vlog is going up first, so you may have already seen that one and seen me read this, but yeah, I'm finishing this one off. And then for the same vlog, I'm not gonna lie, I'm knocking out some books for that vlog, is also Graveyard Shift by L. Rio. You guys would have seen me get this book in my Dark Academia reading vlog, and these glasses are giving me a headache, I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to look cute, but you know what, you can deal with me without them. You would have seen me get this book in my Dark Academia reading vlog, because obviously I read If We Were Villains in that video, and this was her new release literally as I was filming that video, so it was perfect timing, and I've just been dying to pick it up, so I'm going to, and I can't wait. And it's so short, so it's a really nice little quick read for a readathon. It's gonna be perfect. And then I have Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. I've been wanting to get around to this series because I really want to go back and watch the TV show, but my brain is like, the TV show is obviously about Shadow and Bone and Six of Crows, and I've only read Six of Crows. I haven't read the Shadow and Bone series obviously, but I do want to watch the show, so we're gonna start that series today or probably tomorrow, to be honest. But yeah, we're gonna start this series and I'm very excited, and I think this should be quite a quick read. The font's quite big and it seems like it's a short-ish book. I think it's around 310 pages, so yeah, a nice quick one. And then I want to pick up Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. This is just a thriller, I believe, and I've been wanting to read some Gillian Flynn, and surprisingly this will be my first Gillian Flynn because I have not read Gone Girl, but I've heard good things about this one. I don't really know what it's about, and I'm gonna keep it that way because I think that will be fun, but I have heard good things nonetheless. And again, the font is pretty large, so this one should be nice and quick to get through. And then finally on the TBR is Wildfire by Hannah Grace. I wasn't going to read this one because I know it's set in the summer and I hate reading summary books outside of that time period, but I really want to get to Daydream like so bad, so I'm just going to read Wildfire in this readathon so that we can just get it done. You know, it's out of the way, I don't have to think about it anymore, and then I can read Daydream, because I have a feeling I'm not going to love this one, but I want to, they're interconnected, you know, so in my brain it's like, I need to read this one before I read Daydream. So yes, that is the last one on the TBR. We might read more, we might read less. If we read more, it will probably just be the next Zodiac Academy book. I'm on book 4 now. If we do manage to get through this TBR, I'll probably just end up reading that for the remainder of the time. I have no other plans for physical books. That is what I've just shown you, but it's now 5:02. So I do need to start my timer. We can do it here together now. Whoop, I've dropped my phone. Let's do it together. I'm just setting a timer so that I can keep track. I don't think I am going to be pausing it like when I sleep and stuff, because I kind of just want to go until 5 p.m. tomorrow, but it's nice to keep track of how long we've been going and everything like that. So let's start this, and oh, that was underwhelming. Let's start this and we can begin the readathon. book finished of the readathon. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, and I'm not gonna speak too much on it because I'll speak more in the vlog that's actually about this book. Mid. I've had 2 back-to-back mid books and I'm getting mad about it. Like 3-star. Like, the romance came out of nowhere. What do you mean? I was like, what do you mean you're kissing right now? You've had no emotional development with one another. What do you mean you're kissing right now? Huh? Where did that come from? The plot was just a bit confusing. I don't know. I was confused. Didn't really know what was going on. It also felt slow. The pacing was off. I don't know. Like I said, I'm going to talk more about it in my other video if you haven't already seen that one. But I did give this 3 stars. It was mid. But we're done with her now. We can move on. So, we are moving on with Shadow and Bone. Sorry, I'm on FaceTime with my friends and like the weird American-ish twinge comes out when I'm on FaceTime with them. So that's what that was. But yeah, we're gonna start Shadow and Bone. I'm excited. She's short. 308 pages. So short and cheerful. Same as this, actually. Very nice and short. Even if I don't love this one, I know that I like Leigh Bardugo's writing style, so I have some faith that I will have some semblance of enjoyment while reading this book, and I'm hoping it's going to be kind of quick. I don't know. I'm just looking forward to this one. I think it will be a fun time to be back in the Grishaverse. I have not been present in the Grishaverse since 2018. Yeah, I've not been in the Grishaverse for a very, very, very long time, and I, like everyone, I loved Six of Crows, Cricket Kingdom. So, who knows, maybe this will make me want to reread those, because I have not picked them up. And I mean, I never reread them. So, yeah, we're going to move on to this one. We are actually now 22 hours, 23 minutes and 20-ish seconds into the readathon. I took like a 20-minute break, not gonna lie. And I'm gonna have an energy drink because I was getting sleepy when I was reading this, and I do want to stay up till like 1 today, so energy drink is fine. At this time, it's 6:39, and yeah, I am gonna go ahead and start Shadow and Bone.
Don't worry about it, sweetheart. I love that TikTok sound.
Okay, I want to try and finish this one tonight.
You're gonna try and finish it tonight?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh my god, who are they talking about? Probably Alina.
I didn't know.
But they're saying she's an ugly little thing. No child should look like that.
They're talking about Alina.
Yeah. Pale and sour like a glass of milk that's turned.
Oh, that's rude.
That's so rude. So, it's 10:30. And we're 18 hours and 30 minutes into the readathon. I'm not gonna lie, we have been nattering away. So it took me like a minute to start this book, but I'm into it now. I've made loads of progress, and I thought I should give you guys at least a little bit of an update before I end up finishing it in just over an hour. So we are 200 pages in, and basically we're following Alina Starkov, who was like a soldier kind of in this really dangerous place called the Fold, and then she like got attacked and basically did some magic that she was completely unaware that she could even do, and then someone has come and whisked her away, the Darkling, to basically try and train her in that magic, because this dangerous fold is not something that people want, and they've been trying to get rid of it for like centuries, and she might just be the key to getting rid of it. So then she's taken to this palace, and she's basically being trained on how to conjure her magic at will and how to fight and all of those different things, like combat fighting, all of those sorts of things, which has been fun. I'm not gonna lie, it's nothing crazy. It's just like, I feel like OG fantasy YA books are just written in such a specific way that I'm not sure my like 20-year-old brain meshes with as well. Like, would this have hit a lot harder if I was like 15 when I read it? Most definitely. So I think that's like, you know, impacting my reading experience. So right now for me, this is just like it's good, but it's nothing groundbreaking. It's not really doing anything new for me per se. Like, I feel like do you know what I mean? But I'm still really enjoying it. I am intrigued. I feel like I can kind of guess where the end of the book is going to go, but I am intrigued, and you know, at some point I will continue the series, not in this readathon. I don't care to continue it in the readathon, but I will continue it at some point. Like, I am enjoying it. It's not bad. The writing style is quite easy to fly through. My only gripe, or my biggest gripe, is the romance came out of literally nowhere. Like, literally nowhere. So, there's that. But, yeah, I'm gonna sit, obviously, and finish this now. Yes, it's taking me a while. Yes, we're 5.5 hours into this readathon. But hopefully, in an hour, I have like 100 pages left. So I'm hoping I can get that done in just over an hour. And then maybe we can read Graveyard Shift if we're feeling ambitious. Finish the night on 3 books finished. And then we can work on the other 2 tomorrow, potentially. But, you know, we'll see where we're at. But that is my thoughts as of right now. And I'm going to sit and finish this book. And I will probably update you guys when I am completely finished with it.
There must be another way.
You trying to get expelled or what? Devil's Snare. I think I could do such a good Philosopher's Stone Hermione.
No, you can't.
No, you can't. There must be another way.
There must be another way.
What is our guy doing on the other side?
Not me. Not Hermione. You. You. Yeah, you. Me. I'm a female.
The female voice.
So, since we last spoke, I have finished 2 books. I woke up an hour ago, which is why I look this sleepy. I feel like I still haven't really awoken properly. But let's talk. Last night we did finish Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo, and I think I'm settling on a 3.5 for this one. Like, not to quote like Dance Moms, but like, it was good, but I was waiting for it to be great. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was just, yeah, it was just, you know, like, there wasn't anything stand out to me. I felt like it was very quick, but in a bad way. Like, I feel like nothing really happened. I feel like there wasn't a lot of build up to anything. I don't really know. But it wasn't my favourite, unfortunately, but I didn't dislike it. Like, I'm 110% going to be continuing on the series. Definitely will. But yeah, I am intrigued to see where it goes. I just feel like if this were like a fantasy book that I would read now and enjoy, I feel like everything that was discussed in this book would have happened, and then we would have got a whole fresh plot for the next book. Whereas I have a feeling that the one thing they're working towards is gonna be dragged until the final book. Whereas, like, yeah, the fantasy I read now, that would have been fixed up at the end of this one, and then we would have got a whole new plot for the next book. But fantasy has changed, I know. This is an OG one. I mean, when was this published? 2014. This was published, so, you know, I'm aware that fantasy has changed a lot since 2014. I mean, it's been 10 years, which is insane. So obviously, you know, authors within themselves get better, but also just genres as a whole progress and evolve. And I feel like I'm just finding that very clearly. But we did finish Shadow and Bone. And then last night I did pick up Graveyard Shift, but I only managed to get 20 pages in before... Cars are so loud, man. I only managed to get like 20 pages in before I was like, no, I'm too tired for this, like I need to go to sleep. It was like 12:30, to be fair to me, when I started reading this book, and I was like, no, you know what, I need to sleep. So I left it there, and then when I woke up, I basically finished it. It took me an hour, which I'm not mad about, considering I literally opened my eyes and like picked up this book and read it. So, you know, but this was fun. You know, when it comes to novellas or short, I don't know what you would call this. I feel like it's a novella. Because it's only 108 pages, you know, everything happened very quickly. I feel like you didn't get time to sense the gravity of the situation, or like the implications of it, but it was still really good. I think it could have worked as a longer book too, but it was still really, really fun. We're following this group of people who every night, they all, for some reason, are up in the middle of the night, whether it be they work night shifts, or they run like a cafe or whatever that's open 24 hours, or they just have like insomnia, like, you know, you name it. There's a reason why these people are in the graveyard all together in the middle of the night, and they usually just smoke and then they go and everything's cool, and just that's kind of like their nightly routine. But this night there's a freshly dug grave in this graveyard that is like really, really old. Like, no one should be being buried there, nothing should be being buried there. It's old as hell, like no one should be there, no one is ever there apart from them. And basically they figure out, or they're trying to figure out, why this grave is there, and that's what this book follows, and it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. I don't tend to rate novellas, it's kind of hit or miss whether I do or not, so I'm gonna think on this one, because, you know, it's kind of hard to rate a book when you only got 100 pages of it, you know, like I feel like I could have got so much more, but also I'm pleasantly surprised and pleased with what it did and how it did it, you know. But yeah, those are the two books that we have since finished. I actually forgot to grab the book that we're going to be reading next, but I'm going to pick up Wildfire. I think we have 7 hours and 23 minutes left on the timer, and I think we can finish Wildfire and then maybe get like halfway through Sharp Objects. That's kind of my current plan, but you never know. I don't actually know how long Wildfire is. I feel like it should be 350 pages, but romance authors love to make their books way too long, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's 400 pages. But I'm gonna make myself a matcha, maybe eat something, and then I'm gonna sit down and pick up Wildfire. So, we are making progress. It is 11:18 and we are 5 hours and 43 minutes into the readathon, which means it's been about an hour and a half, I think, since I started this book, and I am around halfway through. I'm on page 188. I read 130 pages within the first hour of starting this book. I'm not gonna lie, I'm enjoying it so much more than I thought I would. I'm enjoying it a lot more than Icebreaker. Icebreaker was very sexual, like very sexual. And we have already had some scenes like that. You know, Hannah Grace loves to open her books almost straight off the bat with a scene. Kind of. I don't know. Maybe it was like 20 pages in. I don't really know. Actually, maybe it was like 50 pages in. 40. Anyway. Even though we've already had some scenes like that, by this point in Icebreaker, we'd had like 4 more. But in this one, we haven't had any more, which I'm really, really enjoying. Like, it's so much better than Icebreaker, purely for the fact that there's less smart. Like, it's just, you know, a little bit slower burn in that regard. Like, it's a bit more, like, there's a bit more of an emotional connection, whereas in Icebreaker, there was a lot more of, like, a physical, lustful connection. So I'm really enjoying that. I am enjoying the setting. I thought it being set in summer and me being deep in my autumnal vibes would like take me out of the story, but it's really not. I'm really enjoying it. It's so good. Yeah, I'm really enjoying both of the characters. I really like Russ, even though I think his name is stupid. I really think his name is stupid. But I'm really enjoying his character. He's so sweet, and also so many little Henry Easter eggs. Like, not even Easter eggs, just little moments, and it's making me really excited to read Daydream, and reading this is making me want to pick it up sooner rather than later. So I will definitely be reading Daydream soon, because I'm having so much fun with Wildfire. I'm just hoping that there's no stupid third act conflict, because we all know how I feel about those. They are my worst enemy. I hate them. But we still have half an hour before I will have been reading this book for 2 hours, so I'm gonna try and read loads. I'm basically doing 2 pages a minute, so we should have a lot more time than I initially thought we would have to read Sharp Objects. I thought we would have like 2 hours. I think we're actually gonna have about 3.5, which is very exciting, so we may be able to get more of that book done than I initially thought we would. So I'm going to go and carry this on. Hopefully in about an hour and a half I will have finished it, because yeah, I'm about halfway through and I've been reading for an hour and a half, so that sounds about right. And yeah, I will get back to you guys when I have finished Wildfire. So it is 12:48. We have 4 hours and 14 minutes left of the readathon, and I finished Wildfire a few minutes ago. Let me tell you guys, when I was picking the TBR for this readathon, and I think I've briefly mentioned it, I picked this with the sole intention of it meaning I could read Daydream. You know, I wasn't like Icebreaker's biggest fan. I think I gave it 3 stars, 3.5 stars. I read it in a 24-hour readathon at the beginning of the year that I didn't film. And then, like, I bought this one because I was intrigued but I was like, I don't really think I'm gonna like it. But then when I saw everyone reading Daydream and the fact that it was about Henry, I do remember that I loved Henry from Icebreaker, and I was like, okay, I have to read that. I have to read Daydream. And I was like, so I might as well read Wildfire, and then I'll know everything that's going on. But I was of the impression that I wasn't going to like it, and I picked it for this readathon because I was like, I can just get it out of the way. I can read it in a few hours and just be done with it, and I don't ever have to think about it again. I may think about it again. I'm going to give this one 4 stars. I had so much fun. I think I finished this book in under 3 hours, by the way, guys. We still haven't hit the 3-hour mark, and I'm talking to you guys from when I started this book. I started it with 7 hours and 10 minutes left, and we're at 4 hours 12 minutes. So, and I finished it about 10 minutes ago. I think 10 minutes ago-ish. It was great. I really loved Russ. I liked Aurora. I liked that she... We're getting some ice, hold on. I like that she almost refused. Oh, I don't know what happened there. She almost refused for there to be a stupid third act conflict. She was like, we're not doing this. Like, no, this isn't what we do. And I appreciated that. So there was maybe like 1 page of a third act conflict, and then it was gone, and that is obviously, as you know, just amazing for me. I hate unnecessary third act conflicts, and it would have been unnecessary. It would have been so unnecessary, so I'm so glad it didn't happen. And this book was just so good, and Russ was such a sweetheart, and I just loved the dynamic and the setting and everything. It was phenomenal. But we have now finished this one, and it does mean in the near future I will be picking up Daydream. And by the near future I mean potentially like this week or next week. Really want to read it. But we have about double the amount of time I was expecting we were going to have to read this book. We have 4 hours and 11 minutes. Now, let me explain my math to you, because I feel like I might be able to finish this, okay? So this book is shorter than Daydream. It is 321 pages long. Also, the font is larger than Wildfire. I said Daydream. I meant Wildfire. The font in Wildfire was actually quite small. And this one is bigger. And it's a thriller, I believe. Yes, it's like a psychological thriller, I think. I don't really know, but I am expecting it to be fast paced. I don't know, I feel like I can read this in 4 hours. It's a really short book. We're gonna try. I need to eat lunch, so I'm gonna heat myself up some food, eat that really quick, and then we can read some sharp objects, because I feel like this will go really quick. And it's also just like a perfect October read. This was in my autumn TBR, same as Shadow and Bone actually, but yep, we're gonna pick this one up now, and this will be the final book of the readathon, and we're in the home stretch. Just 4 hours to go, guys, so let's go and do that. It is the next day and I'm feeling more awake and coherent. I thought I would wait until the next day to wrap up this readathon for you guys, but we're just going to really quickly go through everything we managed to get done, and then we can wrap up this video and you guys can go. So, the first book we finished is Starling House by Alex E. Harrow. I'm not going to linger on this one too much because I just filmed my outro from the other vlog, which is the vlog where I read this book, but we all know I thought this was very mid. Wasn't my favourite. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't like phenomenal, you know? And it just, the pacing was weird, I don't know. But I was happy to get it finished within the first, I think it was about hour and a half, 2 hours of this readathon. I was just happy to get it done, get it out of the way. Now I've read it. I would be willing to try another Alex E. Harrow book. I feel like I could like them. It's just I don't know if this one was specifically for me, you know? And then we read Graveyard Shift, and once again, just spoke about this one, so you're not going to get much from me on this, but I really enjoyed it. I think it was my second highest rated book of the vlog. It was so fun. And I just love Emma Rio's writing, and I cannot wait for her to release another book so that I can read it. But I really love the imagery in this one with the, you know, the rats and the mushrooms and everything like that. It was just great, very atmospheric, a bit spooky, a bit creepy. I wish I read it in the evening, but I was too tired. So we read it yesterday morning, but it was still great, and it took me like an hour and a half, I think, to get it done. Very quick, very efficient. And then we read I read this and then I read Graveyard Shift. My apologies. Okay, so before that we read Shadow and Bone, and I gave this 3.5 or 3. I don't remember. It was just giving it typical YA fantasy. I feel like now that I've read so much, I've read so many things like this. It's unfortunate that this is, you know, what I read last because it came out first, kind of, you know, before all the other big fantasy books I've read, and you can tell where they get their influence. But because I read this more recently, it just felt like I'd read it all before. You know, like everything was happening, it was so predictable, I knew exactly where we were going, like there was no surprising element. That may be because I watched the first 3 episodes of the TV show as well, like a couple years ago when it first came out. So I had like some semblance of an idea on what this book was going to be about. It was still really fun. I do love how quick and easy a YA fantasy is to get through. So I still enjoyed it. I'm definitely going to read... Do my bets. I'm definitely going to read the rest of the series. It just wasn't anything groundbreaking. It wasn't doing anything new for me, you know? And then we read what was my favourite book of the vlog. We read Wildfire. This one really took me by surprise. I didn't think I was going to like it that much because I was an Icebreaker's biggest fan, but I really, really enjoyed this one. I think I'm going to settle on like a 4 or 4.5 for this one. It was such a fun time. I really loved the main couple. I loved how they worked through things together, and I think they had a lot of chemistry, and it was just so much fun. And I cannot wait to read Daydream. I'm definitely going to get around to that one like next week. I'm so eager to read this book. I cannot wait to read it. So, yep, there's Wildfire. Just, yeah, such a pleasant surprise. I loved it. And then the worst book of the readathon. I'm so surprised by how much I disliked this book. I just thought like there was some elements, such as a lot of the characters being like minors, but being overly sexualized within the town, within themselves, within the book, you know? And maybe within the book it was purposeful. Like, I don't think Gillian Flynn is like a creepy weirdo. I do think maybe the characters in the book are creepy weirdos. Like, honestly, these like 13-year-old girls were so sexualized. It was gross. And also our main character was also extremely sexualized when you look back at her at that age too. And it just made me really uncomfy. Really, really uncomfy. And I didn't like it, and I couldn't really look past it because I don't know why these 13-year-olds having sex was adding to the plot whatsoever. It wasn't. It was really weird. So I gave this one 2 stars. I do think maybe I was missing something because I know people like this book and maybe something went over my head. I just did not mesh with this. I thought it was weird and gross, and no. That's not to say I'm not going to read Gillian Flynn again. I do want to read Gone Girl. If I don't like Gone Girl either, maybe I won't read one of her books again, but I'm going to give her one more chance. But I did not, I did not like this one. 2 stars. 2 stars. So, those are the 5 books I managed to finish in our readathon. Of course, I didn't start Starling House in our readathon, so it's about 4, because Graveyard Shift is a very short book. So we read around 4 books, and I did have a lot of fun, even though there were some misses, but there were some hits as well. But yeah, I just love doing 24-hour readathons. I think they're so fun. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe and do all of those things, and I will see you in my next video.